Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week and made some money over the week. All right, so today we're going to do it a bit differently, but before we get started with the analysis, you just need to check here on the description on each and every video. We've got timestamps. My apologies for the last two videos. I've not been able to update the timestamps, but on each and every video that I do here, you will find that there are timestamps. Since January this year, every single video has got timestamps. That means you can go to each and every video and just, let's just clear this first, and click on the show more tab. Let's just go show you where to click. You click on the show more tab under the description of the video, and it will, this is the tab that you click here. Let's show it with blue color. Click on the show more tab, you'll see all the pairs that we're going to discuss here this morning time-stamped, which means you can go to only the specific pairs that you're interested in, unlike watching the whole video. Okay, so that works amazingly well. I was going through the cryptocurrencies analysis since the beginning of this year. We're going to discuss that in a moment, just to see how we have predicted the current moves of the cryptocurrencies from right up to the January correction to where we are currently. That is amazing how the Elliott Wave theory predicts and forecasts the market moves. Okay, so as I was saying, today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're not going to start with Euro US dollar. We're going to start with the cryptocurrencies. Our course, for information, our course is starting, let's just make sure the date is starting on the 3rd of November. Not November, December. On the 3rd of December. So the course runs for 2 weeks. So as soon as you subscribe, the day that you sign up for the course, you will get a recording of the previous course. So that means you can get started with the learning material even before the live course in December. So the course will start from the 3rd of December, running all the way through to the 13th of December. So that's a 2 weeks course. The cost is $529 US. I've been saying for the last couple of webinars that the price is only valid for this year. From next year, the price is going to be reviewed. I had some inquiries about whether we've got any Black Friday specials. If you could see what we do in the group and the daily webinars that we do and the amount of work that we do in the group, you will not ask for a discount, because that price is actually very low, because you get to be with us for about 2 years in the group, and you get access to all the charts. You get access to the daily webinars, not just the market analysis, but also educational videos as well. So we do the course for 2 weeks. So because I don't expect anybody, depending on your level of experience, to be a pro wave trader in just a matter of 2 weeks. That is why we do mentorship sessions. We apply the practicals on a daily basis so that we can get used to the theory. Okay, so some members actually say it's underpriced. Yes, I do agree, because what we do in the group is actually quite a lot. So we use the Slack platform for our group. So this works amazing. It's not like this Telegram groups where you can find a lot of traders in one group, everybody just posting their opinions and just dumping the chart, and you can't even keep up. So here everything is organized. Each and every pair has got its own channel. So for example, if you're talking AUDJPY, only people that are interested in AUDJPY will go into the AUDJPY channel and talk only about AUDJPY and post only analysis that is related to AUDJPY. So that same goes for the rest of the pairs as well. So EURJPY, you'll find that members are discussing only EURJPY. So there is no cluttering of the group. So everything is organized. You only look at what you're interested in. So that makes it very well organized. So we also have daily webinars channel, where all the daily webinars that we do on a daily basis are recorded, and the links are posted as well. All right, so that is how we work. And then we also have the trade setup channel that I update whenever we've got a nice setup. So I always put it up there. So you'll see that if you look at the trade setup there, I think this was last week. Okay, so on Euro New Zealand. So just to give you an example of what we do. So if you want more information on the course, send me an email. You will get more detail as to also the timing of the course. There's somebody who's unmuted here. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so you'll get the timing of the course, the content of the course, what is covered on the course. So all that details you'll find when you send me an email. So on the day, as soon as you sign up, you will receive all the material and access to our group. Right, so let's get started. So I was talking about the cryptocurrencies. We're looking at Bitcoin now. We're going to start with Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies that we usually cover in this webinar. So Bitcoin, we've been looking for the last couple of we've been looking at Bitcoin since the beginning of this year, since we started this correction from right at the top. Now, if we go back to the previous videos, almost each and every analysis was talking about Bitcoin coming right down, almost as close as possible to the zero level. And at that time, when we were still here, nobody could believe that Bitcoin can actually go back to where it is currently, around 3,600 currently. And I'm still expecting it to go as low as possible to zero as far as the analysis is concerned. So how does this analysis look right now? So let's just clear this and do it once more again. Well, before I do that, so let's just show you some of the previous videos that I was looking at before the webinar. I was looking at this one. This was done in July. That was just about 6 months ago. On Bitcoin. So if you want to track this analysis, you can just go to my channel. So if you look at the one for 16 to 20 July and you click on Bitcoin, you'll find the analysis that we were looking at at the time. So now this is Bitcoin in July and what we were looking at, and you'll see that the analysis, this is not me currently annotating. This was then in July, and that is how we looked at this. We looked at that Bitcoin is going to push up higher, going to give us a little bit of a correction and drop. And that is exactly what happened. Let me just clear what I'm currently doing now. And you'll see that that is exactly what happened. That was July. And also I went and looked as far back as, let's look at this one. Which date was this? This was on the 19th of February when this started, when this correction was only just starting. So you can go do yourself a favor and go watch this. You'll see how accurate this has become. So this was in February already, and we were looking for this one to just push up higher and go all the way down to where we are currently. It was unbelievable at the time when we were at those levels around 12, 13,000, 15,000. Nobody could actually believe that Bitcoin could actually go back to zero. But that is how wave analysis work. It gives you the ability to forecast way ahead. So you could forecast this almost 10 months ago, almost a year ago. You could tell that Bitcoin was going to go to 3,600, and that was when the people were getting excited a bit about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. Everybody was buying. So you can imagine anybody who bought around those levels, what happened to them. Okay, so now let's go to what is happening currently and what we expect to happen. So this is what I expect to happen now. We've got this move currently here to the downside, and let's just look here, and we've got this one here. We've got this pullback here. Let's just go back to where we were. Yes, right. Now this is what I'm expecting here with Bitcoin. I'm expecting this move to the downside. Let's just clear for now. This move here and a pullback. And this move, you can see it's going down in 3 waves. So we call that move a W, but this one is an impulsive move. So we're going to call it an A degree, an A in the lower degree. So we'll label that one as an A in red. Okay, so after that, it is currently making this 3-wave structure where you've got a move down in 3 waves. You've got this one in 3 waves. This is like a running flat. So we're going to show this running flat in green. We've got that. And now you're currently coming down here with this red move. Okay, so what do we expect here? Even though this red move is happening in 3 waves, you can see that it's happening in 3 waves. I just don't want to put it up here because it's going to look awkward in terms of structure. I'm just showing you the sequence in ideal conditions. So we'll expect that at some point here, we're going to have a push up higher. And that push up higher is going to be 1, 2, 3. You see this one is going to be a B wave here. So it's just a matter of where this B wave is going to end. But this is not the move that it's going to go. We're still expecting that we're going to have another one more down, which is this one now. Now remember, we're looking at this one as a 3-wave. This is going to be X. And now from that last down, when everybody gives up, I'm not saying, okay, you can see that my annotation is pushing below zero. I think some people got worried when we had a projection that was below zero on Ethereum. We're just saying that it's going to go as close as possible to those levels. We are already there anyway. So there's a move that will happen that you will think that it's going now, but that will not be the move that goes. It will be this move here that does this. And that will be going with the original this parabolic move here. So what will this structure look like? You've got a W here, you've got an X wave here, and you've got not like that, sorry. So this is going to be an A, B, C move in red. So your C is going to end here. You're going to have a C move here. So it's going to be this one should have been actually in red color. Let's do this in red, because now this will look like this. 1, 2. So that move that we're expecting should come in red. So it's making an ABC move. Now, all of that move will be a W, and then this whole ABC move is going to be an X wave in the higher degree. Okay, if you don't understand this, I think you will still need to attend the course. So this will be a W move to the downside, a X move to the up as a correction, and then this will be a Y here. So from that Y, that is when we expect the parabolic move, the one that went up to as much as 20,000 in January, around December, January of the last year, to have completed. This correction would have completed, and then we're going to start expecting that this move now happens. That's how clear that is. So if you just look in terms of the structure, if you just show the structure, that 3-wave structure that you will expect to happen here. So this is forecasting. We know now we're still looking to complete the B wave to the downside. There's no signs of a reversal now with this B wave as yet. So we're still expecting further downside until we get confirmation of a reversal. And we've got tools to check that. But for now, we are not seeing any of that reversal at this stage. So that is how Bitcoin is going to look. So start looking for upside. As I said, for the last couple of weeks now, if your account can handle it, if your account can handle accumulating the cryptocurrencies, this is actually the time to start doing that. Okay, as much as it's going down, it will eventually complete this correction. It may not happen in the next 2 weeks, or it can even happen next year. But this is how the move is going to play out on the cryptocurrencies. Right, so that is Bitcoin. Now let's look at Litecoin. Now looking at Litecoin is similar. Litecoin was actually already in the blue box. Last week we talked about Litecoin being in the blue box, so we're expecting, let's just switch off here. We're expecting that we've got a 3-wave move down here. Let's show it in a different color. In yellow, yellow is more visible, so we're going to use yellow here, and I want to draw it cleanly. Right, so I think it's clear like that. So you've got 1, 2, 3 waves down. I'm going to just show it as one wave there in the higher degree. That's 1. You've got this correction here that looks like a running flat there. And now we're looking for this one to go into the blue box. We are already in the blue box, so which means anytime now we can have a bit of a pullback. So at the same time that Bitcoin will have pullback, we will have this pullback. We'll expect that the Litecoin will also have the same move, making this one a W, X, Y move. We are right on the blue box right now. If we check here, let's just remove this. We are already at the blue box area for reversal. Okay, so let's see what happens when we get to when we are actually on this level. So what we are only looking for now is any signs of reversal, confirmation of a reversal. Okay. But at this stage, we haven't got anything that is telling us reversal yet. But we're in the blue box, so anytime now. Let's just go 4 hours and see if how the price is starting to play out now. Let's do this. I don't know what happened here. Why is this in one chart? Okay, looks like we're starting to get divergence here. This is making lower lows now, but divergence, you know that divergence does not mean reversal. Divergence does not mean reversal. We're making lower lows. So the indicator, the RSI, is starting to show higher highs. So start watching for this one to get out of this structure. But getting out of this structure may only just be a three-wave move like that. It just can be a reaction. So we'll watch what happens when we get that push up higher. All right, so that is Litecoin, Ethereum. Very interesting. We have been forecasting all these cryptocurrencies, even in the last Okay, guys, so let's continue. So there's a small commercial break there. So now let's talk about, let's look at Ethereum. We wanted to look at Ethereum now. Now, Ethereum, interesting. We've been looking for all these cryptocurrencies to drop for the last couple of weeks, the whole year, actually. Let's get my annotation tool back up. So Ethereum, we spoke about this triangle here. There was a triangle playing out here. We spoke about this one last week and that it was going to drop to the downside. And this is how this is playing out. So now let's just talk about that geometric projection that I spoke about. There is a specific way that we use the fibs, right? There's a specific way that we use the fibs. So when you use that method, currently with the current correction, it is forecasting that Ethereum will go below zero, but that is impossible, we know. So as far as that is concerned, that you shouldn't worry about this. This is just how we project. We know that it's going to go as close as possible to zero. It's impossible for any pair to go below zero. We know that, we understand that very well. So we're just saying that it's going to come very close to zero. So we've been talking about that even when we're still around the 200 area, and it's now dropping. Now you're only $100 away from zero, okay? From all the way from 1,400 in January, and now we're at just $100, okay? So it's crazy to think about how this has actually played out. Nobody could have imagined that this would look like that. Even if we were forecasting, I think if you were here, you would have been able to forecast that you can get to that level with this pullback. Okay, so because you need those 3 points to be able to have the blue box. So now, as far as Ethereum is concerned, we are just looking for it to go as close as possible to zero, and we will look for any signs of reversal as far as the indicators that we use are concerned to confirm that as well. Okay, checking the cycles in the RSI. So that's how it looks now. You have dropped out of the triangle. You keep looking for continuation. Now you need to start accumulating, because when the upside starts, it may not give you a warning. It's going to be a very fast move. Okay, if it's slow, it means it's not ready. If it comes back like this, it means it's not ready, and you're still gonna come back down and retest that level. Okay, but you need, if you investing long term in cryptos, there's no better price than now. It can still drop and you get a better price, but if you take those, if you buy, accumulate, and put your stop loss at zero, obviously you're not gonna lose anything. You're not going to lose anything. So if you can afford to lose if you can afford to lose the amount that you would have risked up to zero, then that's fine. That's fine. You're home and dry. All right. So that is Ethereum, Ripple only $33. Currently, we made that passing move. So the other cryptocurrencies are still missing this passing move. It's still going to come on the others. So what is happening now is, looks like we're making these moves like that. This can give us this move, that move, and this one here. After that, drop one last time. After that, can drop one last time, and then that will be the end of this move. So what structure will we be expecting with that? This will be a 1, 2, 3 wave move down. 1, 2, 3 move, 1, 2, 3 wave correction, 1, 2, 3 Y, 1, 2, 3 X, 1, 2, 3 Z, and from there we will know that this will go one direction and one direction only, which is the original parabolic move. And we go back to the previous high. Obviously, it does not go in a straight line, but would have had a very nice entry if we get this last drop to the downside. Okay, so that's how the cryptocurrencies are looking very interesting now. Please you can start accumulating those if that is your interest, because they're starting to look, they've got very good price. You're getting very good price for investment and long-term investment on the cryptocurrencies. Right, guys, so now let's go back to the forex currencies. Talk about the majors. First, we'll look at Euro US dollar. We're going to do this in correlation with the DXY, as always. So for those that are interested in a pro plan on TradingView, I have got no shares or any dealings with TradingView, guys. It's just there's a nice Black Friday special. I don't know when it's going to end, where you can buy a pro plan for a whole year. I can't remember the exact figure. I think it was $108 US compared to the $15, $14 subscription that you pay on a monthly basis. I think it's a good deal if you're interested in the pro plan. Okay, so you can look at that. So now let's look at Euro US dollar and the DXY correlation. So what is happening here? We have been looking for this move to complete the A. But I think, okay, I'll show this higher degree structure when I look at the individual charts. For now, let's look at this as it is. So, and we're just going to look at the last piece here. So this last piece here, this three-wave move. Why is my annotation so thin? Okay, sorted now. We've got this three-wave move here, and we looked at this one as a 1, 2, 3 wave move here as well, expecting that we're going to get a flat correction, something like this. Can that still be valid? We'll look at that when we look at the individual charts. So we'll expect the same thing here. One running flat and upside. Okay, so is this going to come back down here and give us a structure like this? Okay, that is one alternative. Not like that, guys. Sorry. Let's just check that. Okay, so this one will come back up here, and we'll expect a move down. Here we'll expect a move up. So this will have made this expanding or a running flat, whichever one is going to make, depending on how far this is going to come to the upside here. If you remember, we're still looking at this as a 1, as a 2, as a 3, and then there's a 4 here internally. This is actually supposed to be, okay, I think you'll see the structure clearly when we look at the individual charts. We're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3 running triangle here. You've got a triangle here. So what we call a running triangle. We'll show it just now. You've got that running triangle. Now, what we are looking for is for this one to be a higher degree A. A higher degree A. I'm out of space here. And then we are trying to make a higher degree B here. Okay, so let's go into the individual charts so you can see what we're really talking about here. We're going to look at the Euro US dollar. Let's just look at one single chart here. So this is what we're looking at here now. This is the structure. Let's show the lower degree and the higher degree at the same time. So now if you look at this here, we've got 1. We've got a wave 1 here. And you've got a wave 2. Now internally here, you've got 1. There's more than one alternative that you can find on this one here. Triangle there. The triangle looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops, makes this. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, completing that wave. 1, 2, 3. Now this is still what we're unsure of, whether this is going to be a wave 4 or whether the wave 4 is going to complete here with a flat correction like this. Now let's look at this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, completing this 3, and now we're busy. Are we busy with wave 4 or has this completed? Because if you look at this structure, okay, let's just label this 1, 2, higher degree 3. We're expecting a 4 and then a 5. Now, there's a tricky part here because if you look at this as well, you will see that this internal one here could have completed. Now, how would it have completed? This is the difference. You can keep rewinding the video to see the previous one if you had forgotten what I had done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, there's also a possibility that this 5 wave in red has completed there, and that the yellow one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually completes there. and then we've got a wave 5. So there's a possibility that this is an A move and we're actually making a B. But either way, you're not going to get this wrong if you're forecasting a correction here, because it can either be a wave 4 or a B wave correction. So for now, we just want to see if we're going to get a break to the upside here to go and retest that level. Okay, so let's go to the lower time frame and see what we're getting there. 1 hour. Looking a little bit tricky now. So now we've made a 3-wave move down. We were making this move to the upside, which we focused last week. Now we've made a 3-wave correction. So there's a possibility that we make this one here and we start continue with that move to the upside. But we need to watch and see how that one goes in the next coming weeks, because this may still drop a little bit lower up to that level or even retest that level. But my first alternative is for this one to make a 3-wave move and push up higher. We've already made a 1, 2, 3. We're expecting a 1, 2, 3 and push up higher. Okay, same with the DXY. May do the same here. Let's look at the DXY. So DXY also made a move, 3-wave move to the downside and the 3-wave correction. 1, 2, 3. Now we're making this 3-wave correction. Is this 3-wave correction complete? It may still push a little bit higher, but we'll expect that after that we'll make move to the upside again. That's what we're going to be looking at on this. All right, so now let's carry on with the rest of the majors. We're not going to spend a lot of time. We're not going to waste a lot of time on these ones. So let's look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar. I'm mostly going to look at the lower degrees today. I'm not going to go more, to the daily. So I'm going to look at mostly the 4 and the 3 and the 1 hour. So you can just focus the next immediate move, right? So as far as the long-term forecast is concerned, you can look at some of the older videos because that is still valid. So we've made now this impulse, we made this 3-wave move here. Last week we wanted it to go and make a flat correction here like that, but it didn't. It just made a 3-wave correction like that. So now if we've got a correction like that, breaking below that and clearing this level here will mean that will open further downside for pound US dollar. So if that is the case for pound US dollar, that means the second alternative for euro US dollar is going to be valid for downside. So euro US dollar looks most likely to go down because of this corrective structure. And it's actually, if you go into the lower degree, you'll see that it's a 3-wave to the upside, it's a 3 waves to the downside, and a pulsing move to the upside. So that makes this one almost like a regular flat. So now we're looking for this one to give you a correction if it's going to give you downside like that. But keep an eye and see how this one plays out. There's a little bit of strength in terms of this structure, so it's not the cleanest regular flat. So we need to watch what happens first. You need to get the next piece of the puzzle, that is either a correction here or a pulsing move to the upside. Okay, so watch what happens. We are looking for downside, so for us to get downside, we need to get a corrective structure. Okay. I don't put a lot of emphasis on the second alternative. I always give you the first alternative. If anything changes, you will need to be able to adjust. So, all right, so that is pound US dollar. Now let's look at US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD is making an interesting structure. It keeps pushing up higher, but very slowly with this structure. Okay, we've identified this structure as a 3-wave move. I'll show you just now. Now, the possibility with this is that this will come and break this top here and drop for a big move to the downside. Okay, even though we would prefer that we get at least a bit of a correction here before we retest that level so that we can drop like that. But this structure also, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, why am I expecting a structure like that? Because it has happened before that we get a Z wave that is quite short compared to the rest. Let's show the daily chart here. Okay, so and just show what we're looking at here. We're looking for this one to make us a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for a Z wave here. Okay, break here and come down. Why am I only looking for it to break here? Because we've seen that happen before with pound AUD. And this Z wave, let's just label this, the Z wave was quite short compared to the rest of the structure, WX, Y, X, Z. Okay, I think while we are here, let's just show the structure just for comparison's sake. Let's just compare. We're still gonna do pound AUD, but I just want to show that structure on pound AUD is similar to what we're currently looking at on US dollar CAD. Let's just look at pound AUD now. Let's get pound AUD. Where's my pound AUD? There we go. Now, if you look on the daily chart on pound AUD, you'll see also here that we had a very short Z wave, and after that short Z wave, we had a big move to the downside. So this is pound AUD on the right hand side, also with a 5 wave, or what we call a 11 swing sequence, W, X, Y, X. Look at the Z. The Z is so short. The Z just breaks the top here and drops. So now here also we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4. This is currently the Z that we're busy with now. So the Z will expect it also to just break here and drop, similar to what happened here. But we're not only looking at that on US dollar CAD, WX, Y, XZ, just to label it again. We're expecting this to push up higher, break the top, and come down. It's not gonna go. It's not gonna break like the top just like that and go. It should come down. And this is the reason why this is what we're expecting here. Also, let me just go back to one single chart, back to US dollar CAD. I see this a comment here. Let's see what they're saying here. All right. So we're also looking at this move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on US dollar CAD. See here. That's why we're focusing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breaks the top and drop. Similarly here, the Z breaks the top and drop. You can see 3 times now. The same thing has already happened. You'll see pound New Zealand also did the same thing. Euro New Zealand has also done the same thing. So we'll be watching that for downside. So keep watching this one for downside. When this structure here is complete, you're looking for downside. This corrective structure would have been completed. Okay. So now if you just look at the 4 hour on US dollar CAD, let's go 4 hour. Let's just show the structure, the clearer structure with a full sequence here. You've made a 1, 2, 3 to the upside like that. And after that, we corrected with a 3-wave move, 1, 2, 3. And after that, we're making a 1, 2. This one could be a 3 that completes the, which need to do it with a different color. This one is this one. This one is, the current one here is incomplete, and we'll be looking for this one to complete like that. See, so we want this to give us the last piece here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here you've got 1, 2, 3. Just can't show it here because it's too short. We should have 3 waves on all these degrees. So we're missing this one to the upside. So this is the one that is currently happening here. If we get an entry point here for upside on this one, you take it up. All we're looking for is for it to go and retest that previous high. Right, so that's US dollar CAD, US dollar CHF. Let's look at US dollar CHF. Now, US dollar CHF is going to give us a clear direction in terms of the DXY and also the euro. This structure, is this structure a corrective structure? Looks like a corrective structure, but it can also start as a leading diagonal as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, and correct like that, and then we start upside. So if this is the case, then that will mean that the euro is still looking more down, and the DXY is going to look more upside. So we have to look at all of this holistically. Okay, now if I bring all these 4 charts in one screen, let's just bring all those 4 charts in one screen and discuss what we've looked at on all these pairs. We'll take a few seconds, guys, because I'm loading 4 charts at the same time. Just bear with me for a second. So now, I always say that we do not trade the market in isolation. Now look at this here. We've got US dollar CHF top left corner. On the right hand side, we'll have euro US dollar. Let's put euro US dollar. Also the 240. Under euro US dollar, we'll put the DXY. do that here. So we've got the DXY. I want it on the same time frame. Bottom left hand corner, we'll put in pound US dollar. Now we're summarizing this in terms of market correlation. What are we expecting now? We need all of them to be on the 240 time frame for hour. Okay, you'll see that I've switched off all the labelings here. Now if you look at this one here, Euro and the DXY, they will do this. They're doing this. Is this one going to push lower, or is this what we're going to get here? Is this what we're going to get here? Okay, so if Euro gives us this move up, we're obviously the DXY is going to give us this move. And the Swiss, because it's a US dollar paired, if that happens here, we are going to expect that the DXY goes down with the Swiss. We're going to expect that the Swiss goes down with the DXY, because they cannot go in isolation. So now in that case, that will mean that this will give us another push up higher. This correction will not be over, because this will not go down as the euro is going up, unless there's a strong move, unless the pound is a strong driver. So we need to look at that 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them holistically. You look at the whole market holistically. So now the pound, we will look for it to give us another push up higher, even though this looks like a corrective structure, a three-wave corrective structure. So this may give you a 11 swing sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, before it drops, because we need that move to the upside. Okay, so if this is not the case and we're going to keep getting the correction here for downside, you're going to keep getting the correction here for further upside to go and retest there. You're going to get this one here to push up higher. You're going to get this one here breaking down this correction to the downside. Okay, so you'll find that this does not happen at the same time. So one pair can give you direction as to what the other one is going to do. So this is how we can focus beforehand what's going to happen, even if we do not know right now. When this starts playing out, one pair can set up clearly and we can start looking at it. And that is how we use a market correlation to forecast the market. Now that's US dollar chief. Let's look at now Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar goes with gold. If we go to the higher time frame here, we spoke about this pulsing wave to the upside now on Audi. So it's a possibility that this Audi is making this three-wave structure and we're still going to get a move to the downside. And that will come with the gold move as well as the euro move to the downside. So this will be supporting the euro down. So we've made a pulsing move here on the daily. Can't see it clearly on the daily, and we're going to be looking for it to come down. So remember why we want Audi to come down here is because the sequence to the downside, even if we made a pulsing move there, that sequence to the downside was not completed. We still wanted it to touch the blue box at 6.9, at around 6.9 area, which it did not. So there's still a possibility that this one can still come down here to the blue box before we go. So we still want it to come down here. Okay, so keep an eye on that. If we go to the 4 hour, you'll see that we've got a pulsing move down and now we're getting a corrective structure. Or rather it's going to go sideways. So we've got this move here. You've got this one to the downside. What looks like a pulse, 1, 2, 3 down here, can push lower, make this like that. Okay. That's Audi. New Zealand should be similar. New Zealand is making a 1, 2, 3 wave move to the downside. Let's see if we're going to get a sideways structure on New Zealand. Nothing very clear at this stage. So if we've made a 3-wave move down and the euro and the gold and US dollar is strong, we're going to have this one maybe as a corrective structure here for another 3 waves to the downside. Okay, because currently it has made this 3-wave up to this level, so we'll expect a pullback in 3 waves before we come down. Okay, US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR still looking more downside. This one is very interesting because it's playing out to the structure. Let's switch off there so you can see the structure and how you can look at this one here. 1, Now you're looking at this one here as a 1, 2, 3 wave running flat. So you are looking for this one to make a structure like that. So around this area, so US dollar ZAR can even get to up to the 13 area before any reaction can happen. So we'll be looking for this one as a 1, 2, 3 WXY move. Very clear structure. So you keep selling all the way up to the 13 level. Good relief for the ZAR, even if it's for the short term. Right, so let's look at the yen pairs. Before the yen pairs, let's look at silver and gold. So gold, we looked at this one as a 1, 2, 3. Looked like another X here. Looked like we're going to get another one here to push up higher. So similar to pound Audi, I can't remember what we're comparing pound Audi to. We were looking for pound Audi. Oh, we're looking for pound Audi, US dollar CAD. That's WXYXZ, that 11 swing sequence. So even if gold can make a correction here, goes and retests here so that we can drop. Remember, 11 swing sequence. That's the reason why we call it an 11 swing sequence, because that's how you trade it in 11. You trade it in 11 swings. So gold can go and retest this and drop. Remember, we're still looking for gold to go down to 1120 area. So now you're going to be looking for that one to drop to that level. Okay. Alternatively, if you've made a pulsing move to the downside here now, this is not the clearest one. I would not even advise that you take this one for downside yet. But that's the only thing that you can look at on gold. Look for the structure that's going to build up from there. Because the corrective structure is not complete yet either. So maybe more sideways to go and retest for a Z before we drop. Silver. So silver had this structure. If you look at silver, we've got 1, 2, 3 there. If you look at this one here, we've got a running flat here, making a 1, 2, 3 wave here. So this can either be an A, B, C move, but the ABC move has been disqualified because now this already now looks like a 3-wave move to the upside if we're going to drop like that. So if it is like that, then it's no longer a ABC move, but rather a WXY move. So there's a reason why we call it a WXY and an ABC move, which is something that we cannot discuss here. It's a whole session on the course, the difference between WXY and ABC move. So we'll be looking for this one to do that. If this is not the Y that it's going to make first, and this has already made the move to the downside, you're going to look for this correction to at least come and retest this first. Possibility for this one to go down like that. So remember, I've been talking about 1350 on silver for the longest time now. It should happen. It should happen even if this is going to make a corrective structure for 1 before we drop, because that will simply be a 1, 2, 3 wave, and then we drop like that. So keep an eye. Nothing tradable at this stage. Right, the yen pairs. Pound yen. Now pound yen, we've made a move to the upside. We made a move here. Now we made a move in 3 waves. 1, 2, 3. This does not look complete. Looks like we're going to come and retest this level at least. Okay, so now if we're just looking short term, we've made a 3-wave pullback. We've made a 3-wave pullback. We've made 1, 2, 3. We've made 1, 2, 3-wave pullback, and now we're coming down. Same as what we have on pound US dollar. So a correction here will mean that we'll come and at least retest this level. So if you're going to take this one here, it's not safe to take it before it clears this level. If you're a conservative trader, you'll want to get a corrective structure below this level. Even if you miss this piece here, it's fine. But if you wanna take it aggressively with the current correction, you can take it, and you will need to move your stop to break even when you reach this level and expect it to go all the way. But at this level, there's a possibility for it to bounce and retest that one. That's pound yen, US dollar yen. US dollar yen looks like it wants to push a little bit higher for a 1, 2, 3 wave pullback. So that's a trade for the next week. At least a pullback like that in 3 waves. That's US dollar yen, EURJPY. EURJPY There's a bit of a conflict in terms of correlation between EURJPY and US dollar JPY. So there is a possibility that this one is making this corrective structure here. If you get this correction here, this will come and retest here. So this retesting here, so there's a number of pairs that will tell us what Euro US dollar is going to do, even including this one. So a correction here will tell us that this corrective structure here that looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangle is going to come down here and retest this level. So that means Euro will still come down. Euro US dollar is going to come down as well. So we'll look for this one to possibly bounce here. Even if it doesn't, it can still go from here. So let's keep an eye on this piece here that's going to develop here. If you get a corrective structure here, that is telling you that your triangle there has completed. Okay, so this may not even be a triangle. Let's just look at this one quickly, because I see some rules being broken for it to be a valid triangle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse. So this may actually not even be a triangle, but rather a 3-wave move like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but it doesn't matter because it's a corrective structure that is already completed. You would have got a nice entry there. If you get another one here, you're taking it at least to this level. Okay, that's EURJPY, CHFJPY. CHFJPY, also look for corrective structure at current levels. Look for it to do that. So it looks like Euro is going to come down with the second alternative based on all of this that we're looking at here. 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3 up. Now we're looking for this one to come down. Okay, that's CHFJPY, AUDJPY. AUDJPY, 1, 2, 3 wave correction. Now we're going to make another 1, 2, 3 here, making this one a WX before we come back for another one like that. Either that or we are ready to go from here, and this is all the correction, and we are ready to go like that. Okay, there's a comment on the chat box. All right, it's just a comment. All right, so that is what AUDJPY will look like. I don't expect, really, looking at this structure, that this will go and retest that level. Even if this is going to go there like that, it may just make a small move like that, and then we make another one to the downside like that. There isn't really any real strength on Audi for it to go to the upside, but rather more downside. New Zealand first before we do Audi. New Zealand JPY. Where's my New Zealand? New Zealand JPY also. Even if we can see a clear 3-wave here, I don't like this pulse in between this the 3 waves. So this may still continue with the correction to the downside, but we are expecting that all of this will be corrected with this. Doesn't matter if even if it comes down with a move like this, making this double combination up to the 61 level here. But not a very clear structure, not a very nice entry point here. You cannot trade this unless you get a nice entry point and you are able to hold for quite some time. Okay, that's New Zealand. CAD still looking downside. So if CAD is still looking downside, okay, here's just why we sold CAD from right at the top here. CAD had also a harmonic pattern here that we're looking at from the blue box. That's where we sold from that blue box. So we're still expecting it to come down. So whatever pullbacks that we get on CAD, even you can see we're getting this one here, we're expecting them to just be pullback corrections for further downside. I'm not expecting any upside on CAD up to this stage. Silver and gold we've already done. So we'll look at the pound pairs now. Now, if we're looking at the pound pairs, we're looking downside now. As you mentioned last week, that this one has now made a 11 swing sequences. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like it has completed. Now, if you wanted to trade this one, you're going to need to get a corrective structure here, something like this. You need to get this one as a corrective structure for it to take it down to this level. If it does not do that, you don't trade it. Wait for it to build and be patient. It will happen. It will not just go like that. Okay. So another possibility, which I don't expect because of this structure and the way this has played out, is for this to make a move like that. I don't expect this move. I don't expect this move. I'm expecting that we're going to get a corrective structure that will continue to the further to the downside on pound chief, right? Pound CAD, pound CAD also, even though we've got this one pulling back here in 3 waves, that could just be a continuation to the downside like that. No, it needs to get a clear corrective structure. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3 here. Now we're coming down, but we came down in 3 waves, so there's a possibility that this one comes down like that, or it makes. See here, when it's corrective structure, there's so many alternatives, and you can do that. So it's still gonna go sideways. So that's pound CAD, pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, we have to see where this is coming from on the daily. Now, pound New Zealand, we also had a 11 swing sequence here. That looks like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, which was a triangle, and then a 5, which was a Z. You see what happens with the Z? That's another one. As soon as the Z breaks the previous high, and usually the previous high would have been a WX, the previous high would have been the Y. So as soon as it breaks the Y, it comes down with a strong move. So it happened on pound AUD, it happened on US dollar CAD. So it's been happening on the number of pairs. So let's keep an eye on this one here for continuation to the downside. Okay, what does this mean? It means that this is now a corrective structure that would have completed a W, X, Y, X, Z. And this Z here, this X here, was a triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like A, B, C, D, E. And then we push up for the Z, breaks the top and come down. So we're expecting continuation here. Corrective structure. Watch this corrective structure to build. Because when this is done here, you're coming down all the way here. Okay, that is pound New Zealand, pound AUD, the same. Pound AUD the same. Also that 11 swing sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your Z. We spoke about this one together with US dollar CAD. Breaks the top and coming down now. Looks like that structure would have been completed. Somebody was asking me about the Brexit news and how it affects the market. And I just told them that we don't ignore the news, but we get the structure from the Elliott Wave theory. So the thing is, you can never predict geopolitics or you can or news events, but the structure will always be ahead in terms of that. W, X, Y, X, Z breaks the top and we're coming down. Correction, we're coming back here. Okay. So it looks like this structure is complete. So if we get a proper correction here, we're going to get a big move to the downside. It's pound AUD. We've done pound chief, pound CAD. I think that concludes all the pound pairs. So we can go to the euros. Did I miss any pound pairs? Pair. I think we did all of them. So now let's look at the euros. Euro pound. So if we're looking for pound to come down, euro pound should have a bit of a move to come and retest this level here. Okay, so we'll watch that one to come over there. Let's go 4 hour. Looks like a pulsing move to the downside, but this can just be a 3-wave move like that. Let's draw it cleanly. 1, 2, 3. Because you're expecting all the pairs with a pound as the base pair currency to push lower. So we're expecting this one to push a little bit higher. That's euro pound. Euro New Zealand, it's the same as pound New Zealand. Also a 11 swing sequence. Let's show the 11 swing sequence as well there. See how powerful this 11 swing sequence is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breaks the top, that is W, that is X, that is Y, that is X, that is Z. Breaks the top, we come down with a strong move. Correction here, look for it to come down like that. EUROAUD, same as POUND-AUD, similar, not quite exactly the same, not quite exact in terms of structure. But this one, we've been looking at this one as a diagonal, but this can actually even be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, making this a W, X, Y, X, Z. Breaks the top, comes down with a strong move. Can you see how many pairs have we talked about now with the 11 swing sequence that does exactly the same thing and come down? So now we're looking for a correction here. On all of these structures with the 11 swing sequences, looks like the Z has completed, has broken the previous high, which is the Y, and now we're coming down with a strong move to the downside. Now we're waiting for this correction. You're gonna need patience to let this build. This is a daily, so it will take a couple of days for it to complete, but just don't miss it when it comes to the goes down, because it's going to be a strong move to the downside. Pound-AUD, have we done Euro New Zealand? I think we have done Euro New Zealand. EURJPY, we're looking for this one to push up higher. Okay, this is the daily. We're looking at this one to push up higher, expecting this to be a diagonal, but it looks like this one is gonna push lower. So pushing lower, that means Euro down for the week. Euro should be down for the week. Okay, expecting this one to come and retest this level. So we've made 1, 2, 3. Looks like we're making 1, 2. Even if this makes like a structure like that, making this a WXY structure like that, that will come and retest this level here. For now, just expect this one to come here first, and we'll expect a bounce from there before we get the move to the downside. That's EUROCHF, EURCAD, EURCAD, we're coming down here. Coming down to this level. Okay, we know that there's this V pattern structure here that we're looking at, but we're expecting it to come down here first. Let's just show the structure. We're expecting this one to at least make this structure to the downside. Okay, that's EUROCAD. That concludes all the Euro pairs. Let's do some of the cross pairs like New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD has already made a passing move to the upside, so you just need to wait for this structure to complete as a correction. But when you wait for that correction, it doesn't mean that you stop trading. If you go to the 4-hour, you'll see that you may get a trade here. You've got a pulsing move to the downside. If you get a corrective structure here, you can get at least a move that is similar in size as this one, even if this makes a 3-wave move like that and push it up higher. But there's a likelihood that it doesn't do that. It pushes up higher in 3 waves and comes down with a strong pulsing move before it goes like that. That would have been a running flat. So you don't know which corrective structure is going to form here, but all we can see that is that it has made a pulsing move to the upside, whether this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 again. So for now, all you can see, next immediate move, a corrective structure here, you take it down. Even if this corrective structure goes and retests the previous high, it's still fine. As soon as the corrective structure is done, you take it down for at least a short move like that. It's New Zealand CAD, AUDCAD. Let's look at AUDCAD the same. So AUDCAD, if you look at AUDCAD, you've made a 3-wave pullback. Now busy correcting, can it give you another one like that? So we're just looking for it to give us a deeper corrective structure, because this looks like a 1, 2, 3, could be a 4 and a 5 as well, and before we get a bigger one. Okay. So next immediate move is to wait for this corrective structure. What else is there? AUD New Zealand. Now, AUD New Zealand, we spoke about this one at length last week. We're looking for this one to come and retest this level. this one needs to come and retest this level here. Either this level or this level. Why? Because we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down here. You can watch it from last week. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're looking for this one to be the last 1, 2, 3 to the downside, which will make this a pulse and another pulse when we get to this level. So that would be an A and a whole B here and then a C. So what we have here is an internal lower degree W, let's do it in yellow, WXY with a very complex B wave before we drop, before we push up higher. So that's why we're looking for this one to just keep on selling. Clearing this here, we're definitely coming to this level. Clearing this level, we're definitely coming to this level here. And it's not support or resistance, it's just areas where we can make an Elliott wave structure. Okay, so that's how you look at this one. Look for entries in the lower degrees in the 4 or the 1 hour. Looks like you're gonna drop again with this one, but it's coming down slowly. You need to get a nice entry point. Right, New Zealand Chief, we've got a passing move to the downside. We're getting this one here, possibly a retest of that one, and another move like that. Okay, you'll be the continuation should be to the upside. So what is happening is only a pullback in 3, 7, or 11 string. All right. That's New Zealand Chief, AUDCHF. Did we do AUDCHF? Same also, passing move down, expecting a deeper correction. Nothing really tradable unless it makes a complete three-wave move like that. Then we'll look for upside. I think that concludes all the other pairs. We can look at the cryptos. CADCHF should be similar to the others as well. We've made a passing move to the downside, but this one has made a three-wave move here. So it's already looking upside here now. We look for a bit of a correction for upsides. I'm only showing this short move here because this can still be more sideways. All right, now let's look at oil. Oil, I showed last week that this looks like it has only made a three-wave move and not a pulsing move to the upside. And now we're coming down here. If you look at this, we've made a 1, we've made a 2, we've made a three-wave correction, and now we're coming down. We've already broken out of this structure. So that means oil can even retest this low here. But it's going to need to get a corrective structure here. It will not go in a straight line. We would need to get a bigger corrective structure. Something similar in size as this. So oil has already broken. Now you look for continuation. Look for continuation to the downside. Okay, that's oil S&P 500. Let's look at the indices now. Looking at the indices, if you're looking at the S&P 500 higher degree here, we're looking for this one to make this corrective structure. That's all we're looking for, to come down now. It has not reached that level as yet. Let's see, there's a comment on the chat box. I think we're off tracking a bit, Ranjita there. I cannot answer that question here on the webinar. Ranjita is asking where I've learned and all that. It's been a very long process, but let's not sidetrack with that. Let's continue with the analysis. Okay, now let's look at the S&P 500. You're looking at this one, the higher degree corrective structure here. 1, 2, 3 comes down here. It's actually not a 1, 2, 3 wave here. Let's check here what is going on. Okay, we made a three-wave move to the downside, and we looked at this internal one as a 1, 2, 3, and now we're coming down with this 1, 2, like that. Get the right color. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're looking for this one to come and at least retest this level before we bounce up. Let's switch off here. This is the daily. So what are we looking at for now? We're looking to come and retest this level. If I go to the 4 hour, if we go to the 4 hour, we can look for correction to at least come and retest this level down here. And from here, we'll expect a bounce. Okay. So if you want to take a snapshot of the labeling there, that's it. You can have a look at it like that. So this means that we're going to make a bit of an adjustment here compared to where we were last week. Then our B is rather going to be here. Our A is going to be there, and our C is what we're expecting to complete here. Okay. So all the indices are pulling back. So S&P 500, the Dow Jones, same thing. We're expecting it to come and retest. What did I press there? We're expecting the Dow to come and retest this level here. Okay, we're expecting the Dow to come and retest over there. Correction, down. Okay. That is the Dow, the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, this looks like an expanding flat. Let's just, I don't know why I did not adjust this when it happened. This cannot be a wave one there. Let's take this off, switch off here. So the NASDAQ, we are simply making a 3-wave structure. So this one has broken this level here, can still push back a little bit lower to make this correction a zigzag before we push up higher. Okay, so there's also a possibility here that the NASDAQ is actually making this expanding flat here, breaks the low and then go, and then this becomes an expanding flat. But either of those will tell you that in this needs to push a little bit lower before we bounce. That's the NASDAQ, the Dow we've already done. UK 100. UK 100 I think has reached, okay, let's see. So UK 100 will also just drop a little bit. So it's dropping down correctively. So this one will just push a little bit lower to come and retest this level. Maybe from there we can get a bounce. We'll see what we get after that, whether we're going to get one down before we go first. But it will depend on what the other currencies. And usually this one does the opposite of what the other indices are doing. Right? But it's a bit of a sideways move right now. It's not really going anywhere. It's just going sideways for now, flat. So you'd rather trade the others that are giving clear directions other than the UK 100. Nikkei. Nikkei has got the clearest structure of all the indices. 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. We're looking for this one to come and retest this level here, even if it breaks it before it goes up. Okay, we are busy with the pullbacks on all the indices as well. So we're looking for this one to give us an entry point to the downside. That is the Nikkei DAX. If you look at the DAX is right in the blue box. So any move to the downside will still push up higher. So we're just looking for those pullbacks before we push up higher. I wouldn't sell the DAX at this current levels. I'll be looking for upside when it gets out of this corrective structure. That is the DAX. The Nifty. Nifty has made this expanding flat. 1, 2, 3. And now it's making a move to the upside. Looks like it's making a expanding flat at this level. Whichever structure is going to be, but we're pushing up higher. So this may, because the others are pulling back, this can actually be an expanding flat here. 1, 2, 3, and a push up higher. Okay, sideways and up. Okay, we've been tracking the Indian stock, Sun Pharmaceutical on the NSE. let's look at it as well. I usually just look at this. So what I do is there are some traders from India who prefer to trade stocks. So I've been looking at this pair for one of our Indian group members who requested it. So we have bought this one when it was still here, and we're expecting it to go all the way, but it's now coming down with the pullbacks on the not on the cryptos, on the indices. So the pullback on the indices, this one will pull back with it as well. So we'll expect this to come and retest this low here. And overall, actually here, we will be looking for this one to do this. The structure looks like it has changed here, because this looks like a corrective structure now. Like a 1, like a 2, like a 3. And if this is the case, it means we still have more downside before we go up. Okay. That is Sun Pharmaceutical. Oh, we've already done the cryptocurrencies, so we are actually done. Did I miss any pair, guys? Is there a pair that I did not do here? I think we still got about 3 minutes before I can go off. Oh no, actually we've got that first piece of the webinar that we're gonna connect to as well. I think that's all I had for you guys this week. Good luck trading in the next week. Happy peeps, make lots of money. It's December after all. It's the Christmas rally, so I hope you make money for Christmas. Cheers, guys. Have a great week. Cheers. Bye-bye. Awesome. Cheers. Bye, guys.